I'm going to overview this process again. First, you're going to need an advert, okay? You're going to need an organic advert that goes out on a consistent basis. So that can be a paid advert, or it can be an organic advert. Now, some people don't generate a lot of sales in their business because they're missing this. They're missing the consistent ad. And they say things like, I don't have time to post on social media. I'm sorry. Do you know how long and how much it would cost in order to advertise publicly 20 years ago? 20 years ago, you would have to know somebody that worked in TV in order to get visibly seen publicly. Do you follow what I'm saying? You would have had to pay tens of thousands of pounds in order to get on TV or recognized publicly. Are you with me? Or if you went on radio, you would need to pay thousands of pounds to get your advert on radio. And who would they show it to? Everybody. So then you can't even target it. But now we have this brilliant thing that you can advertise your services for free. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Threads. Like, the world is our oyster. So this is why I say there's never been an easier time than right now to make money. There's never been an easier time than any other time in human history to become a millionaire than in 2023. But first you need an ad. By the way, every single person in this room should be a millionaire within the next 3 years. 5 years maximum. Just follow this process. You guys following what I'm saying, yeah? So you need an ad. Any question on ad so far? Then, once you've done an ad, you need what we call an awareness program. Now, if you're selling B2B, i.e. you're a consultant, you're selling business to business, the likelihood is that this is going to be a video sales letter, what we call a VSL. And if you're selling business direct to consumer, in other words, you're a coach, this may be a webinar. Now that may be live or pre-recorded, depending on how you do it, okay? So my experience says that you do this live at least 10-15 times, and then you pre-record. Some people like to do it live anyway, just because it gives them a buzz, it gets them in contact with the people, they can and you kind of just get like a high volume of results. Once you do your awareness program, the little hook in between is called a phone call. Now, initially this will be you on the other side for most people, is you then have them watch this training here, and because they've watched that training there, then you've inspired them and invited them to take the next logical step and book the call. Does that make sense? Now, a lot of people do this bit and they go from ad straight to book a call. They do an Instagram video and say, this is what I do, I can help you, book the call. That would be what we call suboptimal. What do you mean by suboptimal? It means that it will get you some results, but you will spend a lot of time, you'll spend a lot more time to get less results than you otherwise could get. Does that make sense? So you want to have this. Why? Because it inspires people and it trains people on what you do, how you do it, and how you do it differently. This is what we call putting you in more of a category of one, so that you stand out, so that you become brilliant, so that you become the go-to person. Automatically, when they're watching this video, they see you as the expert. If you just go book a call with me, then you're going to spend 45 minutes on the phone to somebody and they're going to go, I don't have the money, it's not the right time. And it's a headache. So have the VSL, always a live webinar, and then get them to book a call. And inside your mastermind, you have training specifically on how to deliver this VSL, how to deliver this webinar or awareness program. I don't know if anybody remembers, I used to do something called a clarity call. Okay, so one of the catches is you probably don't want to call this a webinar. You can, but in my opinion it's suboptimal. Why? Who can tell me why?
No sell. It doesn't sound attractive, it's not inviting.
Correct. It's not inviting yet, it doesn't sound attractive, it's common. And then it removes you away from being in a category of one. So call it something specific to you, specific to your business, Okay, like I used to call it a clarity call because everybody used to say, Jazz, you're doing amazing stuff, can you tell me more about what you do? So I said, join the clarity call. You get clarity on it, and I'll show you how to do it. Once you've got the awareness program, you need to have what we call an accelerator program. By the way, inside the awareness program, if you're selling anything over £1,000, then you definitely want to have this step in, the phone call, okay? And for most of you, you should be selling something over £1,000 because you're good enough. Now, if you're selling something under £500, you want to skip this step and send them straight to checkout. If you're selling like a 299 thing, right? Then you don't need the phone call. It's a misuse of your time and expertise. Does that make sense? And you have generated some results. Please do make sure that you record them and you track your results. Why is that important? Because then when you hire a sales team, which you will, and you hire other people in order to do the sales calls for you, then you know what your conversion rate is. You know that every time 10 people call, you make 5 sales, as an example. 2 people don't answer, 3 people typically say, okay, call me back in a week, and 5 people you close there and then. So you know that you've got a 50% conversion rate. You with me so far? So when that salesperson comes in and says, oh, you know, it's too hard, people will keep saying people are not qualified or people are not experienced enough or da-da-da-da, and they come up with all these BS excuses because they've got 2 out of 10, you say, excuse me, I've got 5 out of 10. You say, oh, but you're the professional. It's going to be somewhere between £1,000 to £3,000, most commonly £1,000 to £2,000. Once you reach over £2,000 from business to consumer, by the way, you reach what we call a cost of concern limitation. What does that mean? That means that, yes, people will buy at £3,000. However, the cost of concern for many people means that you won't get many buyers. Does that make sense? So it's a little bit like, think of it like if you typically get 10, you might get 10 people buy at £2,000, but then you might only get 5 people buy at £3,000. So 5 times 3 being 15, but 10 times 2 being 20. So you would make more money by selling it at 2,000. Does that make sense? Because people have less resistance to something less than 2 grand. You with me so far? So whilst it might be worth way more than 2 grand, then you probably want to sell it at less than 2 grand because of that principle. Okay? Different nuances. So I know Kem's looking at me like, I can sell for more than 2. If you can sell it at 3 grand, do it, but just be conscious of that principle, especially if you're selling like business, but your thing is more business to business anyway, so it doesn't necessarily apply to you. With business to business, obviously the numbers are different, but the principle still remains the same. Is that you want to have an accelerator program that gets their foot in the door and gives them some level of immediate success. Let's say your highest level program is £250,000. You don't want to go in on your accelerator program to the first time you've met somebody and go, our program's a £250,000. You probably want to start with the 20 grand thing. Does that make sense? Or the 10 grand thing as a consultant, somebody selling B2B. Is this making sense? So you have your accelerator program that gets your clients a good set of instant results, okay? Kind of like in a short, condensed space of time. So our accelerator program is Money Mastery Life. So our accelerator program gets people instant results and helps them along the journey in a fast and effective way. Once you've got your accelerator program, you want to have, by the way guys, this will transform your income forever. And it will also transform the number of people that you impact and the level and the quality at which you impact their lives as well. So your academy program is the longer, more sustainable program whereby you coach them through step by step, process by process, and help them implement whatever it is that you taught them or whatever it is that you've gone through. Does that make sense? So, as a simple example, and I'm looking at JK, if you were to have a 2-day retreat in, I don't know, it's a nice place around it, a 2-day retreat in Lake District, for example, right? And that was I don't know, how much is a 2 grand retreat to Lake District? Yeah. How much does it cost to the customer?
So each customer,
Yeah.
say £1,000.
£1,000. Okay, so that's a great accelerator program, £1,000. And then if they want to keep on doing that, and they want to have, I'm making stuff up, right? But if they want to have then the retreat in Santorini in May next year, and they also want to have the retreat in Spain, and they also want to have the retreat in XYZ location, and they also want to have the retreat in Marbella. Now you get 4 retreats throughout the year, and they also want to have the specialist guest speakers come in and have this amazing experience throughout the year, and they want to have check-in calls with you throughout the year, and so on and so forth. And that becomes your 10 or 20 grand program that goes throughout the rest of the year. Does that make sense? So you always want to have those layers: your ad, your awareness program, your accelerator program, your academy program. I promise you, if you implement these 4 steps, you will become a millionaire. Why? Because once you realize that your awareness program works, once you realize that your advertising works, you have your messaging correct, then all you need to do, worst case scenario, is put more money into paid ads. Because if you spend every time you spend 10 grand a month on paid ads, for example, and you generate £40,000 back through delivering your awareness program, when are you going to stop putting money into the system, guys?
You're not.
You're not, right? So it becomes, once you've got like a good set of ads that's making money, like just keep putting money into the system, and then find people to fulfill on the other side, the phone calls, the delivery, etc. Guys, it's scalable. If I'd have known this 10 years ago, whew, that's just like 4 steps that you need to become a millionaire. Any questions before we move on? Go.
Could you run through that and give us an example from, let's say, like your the JMC company, so like you're doing B2B.
Yeah.
What would that look like for that company then?
Yeah, great question. So you're triggering me now because when you sell a company, there's a period of time by which you can't trade in that same industry or environment. So mine is 3 years, which is coming up in December. So don't. I got love for my money mastery family right now. I don't want to split my time and energy. But what I would do if I was to go back into that industry is I would then generate a set of ads directly to the head teacher. Like, we can just market this stuff directly to the person that we want to speak to, directly to head teachers, directly to bursars, and say, hey, are you struggling to deliver a high quality curriculum? Do you have children in your school who are somewhat intelligent, however they're not receiving the grades that they want to receive? Maybe that's because they're not having enough creative influence and they're getting bogged down with too much maths and science. Let me show you how this works and how we help schools to implement a highly effective creative curriculum that also helps to increase and enhance the educational outcomes and results. Do a couple of demos, bang, 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 bang. If that's something of interest to you, check out our free training on how to deliver a first-class creative curriculum. It's absolutely free. There's no charge to you, but I want you to watch it because I want every child to succeed. Bang, are the teachers going to watch that, yes or no?
Yeah.
When they're interested in that, bang, they watch the VSL, because it's speed to business to business. They watch the VSL, and once they watch that, they're like, I'll present a 10 to 20 minute presentation. In there, it's got testimonies from other head teachers saying how amazing we are. It's got testimonials from children saying how brilliant their service is. And it says, hey, listen, if this sounds good to you and you want a free demonstration from one of our team, just tap the button below and book a call. Ooh, we'll be getting book calls every single. Jasmine, you're inspiring me now. You're getting going because I know I can just make it. It took me. How long did it take me to? It took me about 6 years to generate $1 million. To generate our first $1 million in that business, £1 million in a year. Like, I can do that within 6 months. That's how easy it is now, right? So then I would have that phone call. I have one of my sales team answering that phone call, getting the thing booked in, and then we would just contract them at that specific point. So on the phone call, say, look, if we deliver an amazing 10 out of 10 solution for you, what would that look like? They'll say, bang, 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 bang. So, right, I've got the perfect person for you. His name is Mark Stevenson. He's been doing this for the last 5 years. He lives just 10 minutes away from your school, and he's going to come in and deliver an expert service for you. So, by the way, which days did you want the tuition? Oh, Monday and Tuesday? Okay, brilliant. So we'll contract that in now. We'll send you the service agreement. By the way, if you're not 100% happy with what Mark delivers for you when he comes in next week on the free demo, then we'll tear up the contract and we'll pretend we've never had this discussion. Sounds fair? Brilliant. I've already sold it.
So So the 1 week demonstration is the accelerator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as a getting a little bit technical, but what I would do is I would do my absolute best to sell it the 1 year contract at least before they even go in. Worst case, I would say, look, let me send you the service agreement so that you know exactly what it looks like, because I know that you're gonna have a 10 out of 10 amazing experience. And then when I call you after Mark's delivery on Monday, then you know what we're talking about, and you got any questions, then you can ask me there and then. Because what does that save? Time, because otherwise they're going to receive the service and then you're going to call back on the Tuesday and then she's not going to be available. You're going to call back on the Wednesday and then she's going to be sick. You're going to call back on the Thursday, she's going to be in a friggin' meeting. You're going to call back on a Friday and then she's going to be like, oh my goodness, I've got too much to catch up on, I can't deal with this right now. Make sense? Yes or no? So now that I've got it already contracted in, by the way, we start on the 1st of September, it's already contracted. Make sense? Yes or no? So that's the way that I would do it. And then once they've got the initial 1 year program, the initial 12-month program, I'll say after 3 months I'll do a check-in call, like do a check-in meeting, and then I'll say, look, it seems like you're really happy with X, Y, and Z. What we would love to do is, would you like the same person over for you for the next 5 years? Yeah, sure. So let's set up a 5-year agreement with a 2.5% increase every single year, which means that you don't need to go back and forth with budgets, you don't need to constantly be looking out for new music teachers, new PE teachers, etc. Understand that JSC have got it all sorted and covered for you. That I would do it, like, we used to spend so much time, you know, with the phone calls, the emails and all of that sort of stuff, going to visit schools. Like, don't need to do that now. Like, your presence is here on the VSL. Demonstrates them. And as somebody that was delivering a kind of physical, dynamic, visible service, I would have all the videos of them teaching music, teaching PE. Here's how we do it this way. Here's what, like, all of that. You need to have the same. So when you do your VSL, by the way, you want to make it in a way where it's visual as well as audio-wise connected.